Welcome to Alpha Recap, your post-market wrap from stockalpha.ai. Markets closed mixed today, and we've got lawsuits, chip volatility, and a big auto pop to unpack. As always, if you have questions, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai.
Hey everyone, great to be back. So much happened after the bell. We're going to break down the headlines and what they might mean for flows and volatility.
First up, United Homes Group got a securities fraud lead plaintiff notice. That's one of those legal developments that can really shake a small cap.
Right. And analysts note that when a firm invites eligible investors to seek lead plaintiff status, it usually signals near-term legal and disclosure risk, which often equals more price swings.
So, what really stands out here is the mechanism. A lead plaintiff can steer the suit, and follow-on filings or settlements can force companies to book reserves or reveal extra info that affects margins and cash flow assumptions.
Exactly. Watch the court docket and any company statements. For small-cap issuers, even rumor-level legal news can amplify volatility because the float's smaller and liquidity's thinner.
That's right. Legal risk is a headline driver, not the kind of catalyst you want if you're relying on predictability.
On the flip side, stories about leadership continuity, like a professional services firm getting recognition, can be calming non-price catalysts. Different kinds of headlines move different pockets of the market.
Switching gears to tech and AI, Nvidia finished the day down about 1.5% to roughly $211. And volume was heavy, around 280 million shares. That's a lot of conviction behind a modest drop.
Yeah, that tracks. Nvidia is the bellwether for AI hardware, so when it had heavy selling like that, it rippled through ETFs and chip suppliers today.
Let's explain that simply. When the AI leader moves on heavy volume, it changes how index funds and active managers position themselves. Momentum flows can follow, and sector volatility can spike.
And conference or guidance events are especially important for Nvidia. Traders watch support levels, product cycles, and any company commentary. If follow-through appeared tomorrow, it could feed broader AI and semiconductor moves.
A related theme, AI concentration. The five-way index in our brief showed that just 3 companies captured about 94% of AI-driven answers around theme parks, and Disney alone had roughly 58% share. That's winner-take-most dynamics in action.
I mean, when you step back and look at this, AI-driven discovery can massively amplify visibility for the biggest brands, which could translate into more foot traffic or pricing power for leaders like Disney or big media firms.
Which raises modeling questions for analysts. Do you assume that visibility keeps flowing to the incumbents? Or that search and generative results decentralize over time? Different assumptions change long-term revenue forecasts.
Totally. And on the enterprise side, partnerships were another headline. Sophos teamed with Rubrik to expand Microsoft 365 backup offerings, and MongoDB was on investor conference stages. Those moves can prompt analysts to refresh models.
Conference visibility often leads to repricing. When a company presents at a large forum, there's potential for revised guidance or analyst notes that move the stock short-term.
Let's talk energy and defense validation briefly. Orin Solutions joined Chevron Technology Ventures Catalyst program, which is a corporate validation event for an AI-native defense firm.
Corporate venture involvement like that tends to increase the chance of pilots and commercial deals. Analysts note that such tie-ins can push private market valuations and M&A expectations.
And in renewables, Envision Energy announced a partnership on a big monsoon wind power project in Southeast Asia. Details are still light, so markets are pricing probability rather than hard economics.
That's an important pattern. A lot of press releases lack capacity, cost, and timeline specifics. So until hard data arrives, sentiment and partner credibility drive price action.
Now, you asked about trading flow. Today was a great example of active leveraged plays shaping intraday dynamics.
Right. The small cap inverse leveraged ETF we mentioned rose about 1.9% on roughly 207 million shares. And the semiconductor inverse leveraged ETF rose about 0.5% on about 303 million shares. Heavy volume there.
That level of activity signals elevated retail and short-term systematic action. When leveraged products trade big, they can exaggerate moves in the underlying sectors because of the hedging and rebalancing those funds do.
Exactly. And add the Ford story. Ford jumped about 4.8% to roughly $17.45 on about 150 million shares, one of the day's largest percentage moves among big names.
Short reaction.
Short reaction.
That rally in Ford can materially change option prices and hedging flows for auto-focused books. Momentum players pile in, and the move can become self-reinforcing if the volume continues.
And to add to that, big single-day moves often attract attention from quant and volatility desks, which need to adjust delta hedges. That feeds more liquidity and can widen intraday swings.
Let's touch healthcare quickly. Needham bumped Veracyte's price target after trial readouts were cited, and Cantor Fitzgerald reiterated neutral on Pfizer, leaving that view unchanged. Clinical data and trial timelines still dominate biotech catalysts.
Policy events matter too. The American Nephrology Nurses Association Advocacy Forum coming up creates a policy window that could affect reimbursement expectations for kidney care providers. Those are the kind of non-market events that can ripple into sentiment.
Short reaction.
Moving to community and regional finance. New Jersey Community Capital launched a first-time homebuyer education hub, and a $20 million New Markets tax credit was allocated to the Great Plains Food Bank. These are grassroots developments that can affect local mortgage originations and project timelines.
I was honestly a bit surprised by the scale of the local impact stories. They don't move the tape in a big way immediately, but they matter for regionally focused allocators and community development finance.
Corporate partnerships and M&A signals included a business services transfer deal and Goldman initiating coverage on a small consumer name. Analyst initiations can bring liquidity and attention to smaller companies. That's a theme we've seen repeatedly.
And on the lighter side, Nobu Residence's debut tied to a fireworks festival in Da Nang. Tourism and luxury lodging news. Not a market mover for everyone, but a fun data point for regional developers.
Let's consolidate a few patterns we saw today. 1. Concentration of visibility. AI and content discovery are tilting attention to a few incumbents. 2. Flow-driven volatility. Heavy volume in marquee names and leveraged ETFs drove big intraday swings. 3. Corporate validation as a catalyst. Partnerships and accelerator programs are credibility events. 4. Disparate information quality. Many releases lack hard economics, so markets price probabilities.
Yeah, those 4 points summarize it well. Analysts note that when information quality is low, sentiment and partnership signaling matter more than concrete figures.
Quick watch list for tomorrow. United Homes Group legal docket updates. Nvidia price action to see if that heavy volume selling stabilizes. Ford volume persistence and how options reprice. Any follow-ups on the Veracyte trial and MongoDB conference readouts. Plus, any disclosures on the Chevron pilot or the Monsoon Wind Power project.
And remember, none of this is advice. We're summarizing signals and event-driven catalysts for informational purposes only. Analysts note these as market signals, not personalized recommendations.
Takeaways. 1. Legal notices can be big volatility triggers, especially for small caps. 2. Heavy volume in bellwether names like Nvidia can move whole themes. 3. Leveraged ETF and option flows are amplifying day-to-day moves. 4. Corporate partnerships and conference visibility remain practical catalysts until hard economics are disclosed.
Final quick thought: keep an eye on headlines that reveal hard numbers, capacity, contract terms, pilot timelines, because those are the things that turn speculation into measurable value changes.
All right, that's our post-market recap. If you have questions about anything we covered today, head to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us directly and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back with another recap after the next close. Don't forget, send your questions to stockalpha.ai and we'll tackle them on air.